Oh, it's good to be back. Hello, my friends. Hello. Hello, YouTube. How is it going? If it's your first time here to the stream, welcome. Make yourself at home. We're gonna have a fun evening together. Evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you watch it from. And we're gonna have a fun evening together because we're gonna be doing some color studies. We're gonna study a wonderful painter, illustrator, Wyeth. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but well, the guy who made, hold on, this. And we're gonna talk about night colors, and we are going to dive into the intricate color theory behind making night colors. It's actually something that came from a viewer on Patreon. So thank you, Tamlin, on Patreon for asking. She was specifically asking. I'm sorry, I don't know if Tamlin is she or he. So they were specifically asking for the color theory behind how to use muted colors in this way. So we're going to talk about that while keeping the colors vibrant. We'll talk about that. It's a fascinating topic because like night colors by default are not vibrant at all. Like the definition of night is like nothing is vibrant anymore. It's just everybody's sleeping, nothing is happening. But some genius artists can still make paintings like this. So that's what we're gonna try to figure out how it works. How do you make vibrant colors that look moonlight-ish, look realistic, but it's somehow artificially enhanced by the creative genius of the artist? And we're gonna try to take inspiration from that. I hope you're doing well. For this episode, I've been working a little behind the scenes before we start. I've been working a lot. I've been working on changing a lot of things on the stream, the entire workflow, and I'm preparing some big surprises. I'm sure you're gonna love them. Well, I hope you're gonna love them, because why am I doing this? Well, sometimes I do stuff and you say, no, Florent, it sucks. We don't want this. We want the old Florent back. I can't handle change, I know, but you're gonna have to. No, this is nice change. It's just a better workflow and better integration of all the things we do together. So for example, this thing, from now on, the idea is that every stream will have a sort of a work that we do at the same time, and I'll give you in advance the things that we'll be talking about and covering, and you'll have, well, I'm not revealing all the secrets yet because I still need to figure it out. But let's say that this is going to be much more participative for those who want, because I know that some people want to, be a part of the fun every week. So for those who are brave enough to do it, well, you're gonna have a lot of fun. So today we're gonna talk about the colors. May have to go crawl in a hole. Oh my god, no. So today we're gonna talk about the wonderful world. Hold on, I need to start my recording actually. Today we're going to talk about the wonderful world of night colors. So night colors, where are those? And specifically based on Tamlin's suggestion, based on the colors by Wyeth. So Wyeth, American artist, painter, illustrator, who did this. So he did much more than that. We'll focus on these two. So we'll have these two paintings to study. So this one has much more muted colors, but you can actually see a lot more of the technique. Oops, sorry. You can see a lot more of the technique here that's been used. See that it was a warm underpainting, and that the cool has been added on top, like the kind of muted gray has been overpainted. So that's cool to know. That's cool to know. This one has a much more. See, there's also a cool, warm, greenish, raw umber green kind of underpainting. A much stronger statement in terms of chromatic potential. So we'll see this one more artificial, but also more dramatic, and has lots of really cool shadow, like kind of leaf shadows, and the moonlight sort of peeks through the leaves, which I find absolutely wonderful. And we'll actually try to replicate that on a small color study that I have right here. So we'll try to figure out how we can make an effect like that on this small study. That's what we'll be doing together today. Christina's World probably is best known. Yeah, probably. We'll talk about night for today, and I should specify this. For this, well, it's only based on Tamlin's suggestion on Patreon. So they asked me about this kind of night case. But it should be noted that you have two versions of night scenes, right? You have natural night, and artificial night. So candle light, neon lights, whatever light we are capable of producing nowadays. Now, this would be a topic of infinite exploration, and something that I do profusely in my own my main art. I work a lot on artificial light. Let me show you, for example. Which one could I be showing you? Hey, this one, for example, this one. This is one of my paintings that I've done. See, it's night. It's also night, right? But obviously, this one has been greatly exaggerated in how much artificial light I use. But one of the really cool things with when you make this choice of using night, but in a sort of a human artificial context, is, well, it's open bar for chromatic effects. Everything is possible because, well, there's lights for everything. You want orange, bam, put an orange light. You want red, put a red light. In this regard, well, the chromatic effects are, like limitless. Like there's no limit to how many creative effects you can do. That's one cool thing. That's kind of the more modern take on night scenes. But we'll see the natural, and I need to add the quote unquote natural, because there's nothing natural with this. Hello, Socrates. There's nothing natural. Christina's World is by Andrew, his son. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Writing a Greek. Oh yeah, Radalete. Yeah. Is it still the same in modern Greek? I don't know. This is from the old one. I don't know Old Greek. I don't know how similar they are. Can you actually understand from the Old Greek based on knowing modern Greek? Whatever. Let's just go for the night tones. So when I say it's natural light, there's nothing natural about that. It's mostly an illusion. And even this one looks more kind of natural-ish with the blue tones. Well, actually, night and even the moonlight is not blue. And there's actually a really cool, if you have this book, I absolutely recommend it. It's a beast of a book by a beast of an artist. Everybody's preferred dinosaur guy, James Gurney. And he wrote this book, and in this book there's actually a chapter, is moonlight blue? The answer is no. The answer is no. It's white at best. It doesn't have a specific bluish tone. However, we still perceive it as being blue. So the sort of the idea of the blue moonlight is totally an illusion. It's only your eyes interpreting it as blue because it doesn't exist in the real world. But guess what? We don't care. We're artists. We're not concerned with menial things like reality. Well, actually, we want to paint realistically, but sometimes reality is just too boring. Look at this. This is actual night cutters. Oh, sorry. See, these are actual night cutters. Very, very boring, right? I think we can all agree. These are daylight, right? See, when you see the two, the night cutters are just so boring. There's nothing about them that's remotely interesting. Right? So when we say that, but this is not necessarily the moonlight. There's nothing special really about the moonlight. Moonlight is really a very, very dim light. Nothing more than that. But there's something I want to show you. There's something interesting. It gets tricky. Like it gets. I hope you like physics and stuff. Because it's going to get all... So let me add an effect. So here, I want to show you something. Right. It's all an illusion because our eyes perceive different colors more or less well. And I don't know if you have any idea what range of hue our eyes are better suited at perceiving. I'm not sure you'll guess. I don't know if I'm leaving chat to discuss. I want to make my point, so I'm not gonna let you guess. But the hue that we perceive the best, so with the most precision and the most resolution, the highest degree of accuracy above all the hues. Like if you have your eyes sensitivity for each color, so in this hue it will peak, and this hue that we are most sensitive to is actually green. You might think, green? Really? We're more sensitive to green? How come? Like, really? If you think about it, our evolution hasn't necessarily made us very, very focused on green that much, because green, like, imagine our ancestors way, way back, mostly in the jungle, and they were mostly interested in the berries, the red berries, so they would focus on the red, and you think that their eyes would be more sensitive to red. No, it's not the case. It's actually green. So all the leaves, all the different colors of leaves that they don't really care about because they don't eat all the leaves, Well, actually, we can perceive them really well. And maybe if you're into gardening, you'll know when your plants are bad, and you'll spot it based on a green difference. But actually, we don't care that much about all the green shades. And the thing is, you can still spot the green pretty well in the night. See, in the dim light. Other colors disappear more than green and cyan, as you can see. Yellow, of course, because it's more naturally light. This also is kind of a yellow orange. But you see how we still perceive the difference between the two greens pretty well, even though it's very hard to pick a difference between the different types of red and pink. See, this is the type of sensitivity that I'm talking about. We can still make a difference, quite a clear difference between this cyan, this green, and this one. But these three, it's harder, I think, right? This is the type of stuff. And actually, James Gurney's talk about that here in this in his book as well, talking about this effect called the, hold on, it's a tricky name, Perkin's shift. It's an illusion that makes us perceive this kind of stuff. Well, whatever. So, when the light is dim, we see the green better. However, this is an effect that we don't necessarily see in nature very often. Why? Because when the sun gets down during the sunset, the atmosphere gets more yellow-orange. I want to show you something that I did. I have this. This is from my oil painting, my color course. Basically, I transformed this green, like sunlit landscape. So it's a natural daylight landscape. And the challenge of this demonstration here was to transform this day scene into this kind of sunset scene with kind of dramatic colors. Sorry, my face is in the way. And can you notice how do we actually perceive the greens more? Am I already contradicting myself? Like I have talked for just a couple minutes and I've already contradicted myself. Actually, in this case, it's different. And this explains why we don't really perceive all these nuances of green that supposedly we should see better even in dim light conditions. We don't necessarily get to experience that and enjoy this sort of very lame superpower that we have, because most of the time when the sun gets down, the atmosphere also gets more yellow-orange, even red to a certain degree. And in this case, the green actually completely vanishes. So we don't perceive green, and green is definitely the color of night. It should be, in theory, it should be, but it's not, because when the sun gets low, the light turns red, and now you can see the difference. When the light gets reddish, the green completely disappears. Where's the green? Do you remember? Do you even remember where it was? It's completely gone. The blue as well, but the green is completely gone. So when the light turns red, obviously I'm exaggerating with this demo, but you can see it pretty well on this. When the light turns red, or redder, more orange, more yellow, the green becomes more like that. Actually, the green, the trees, the leaves in this demo, I have all painted them with these colors that you see on the palette. sort of brownish red. Right? So, I hope you understand the point, why we don't actually... In theory, green should be one of the main colors of the night, one of the last colors to disappear, but in reality, because of the light turning slightly more red and orange, we don't perceive that, because it's the opposite that happens, and green disappears. So if you want to paint a night scene, it's generally a good idea to get rid of the green, right? So whatever is night scene, get rid of the green. Just if you look at this, this would be a sort of a moonlight photograph. This one from Wikipedia, and the article on Wikipedia is actually demonstrating that the moonlight being blue is an illusion. Whatever, like, guess what? This illusion works, and it works perfectly. It can actually be said that this illusion has been reinforced by artists. Maybe Wyeth painting is the reason why we think of the moonlight as blue. Because most artists have painted the moonlight blue. Like, the reality, it's not blue. But this is a cultural illusion that persists, and I think that it works pretty well. So why not use it? And the point is going to be how can we use it in a sort of a realistic manner. The moonlight here actually would be more, yeah, it's more in the... It indicates that it's more in this yellow range. See, I don't know if you can see it here. It's more in the yellow. There. Maybe here we can see better. It's kind of brownish, very muted brownish, let's say. Let's see what we have. This would be the color of the moon. See? Right? Not blue. It's not blue at all. It's very, very muted, very low chroma. It's almost zero chroma. But it's not blue. The rest feels blue. It's actually not blue, it's bluer. This is where the illusion comes from. It's bluer than the rest. Because in the moonlight, everything drops and the remaining elements just feel bluer, right? But they are not actually blue, so that's how we do it. All right, so let's check the colors of this painting, see how it goes and see how he did. Because the point is to keep the colors vibrant, right? We want to keep it artificial. Let's keep it artificial for the sake of, you know, we're artists. We're not making a scientific study here. We like artificial. So bam, kind of blue. I'll remove the colors afterwards and we'll see. So the green, as you can see, is more very, very cyan. There are some traces of olive green, but it's more kind of yellowish. Here there's an olive green. Here the back is like, this would be the most white. There's a sort of a high reflection. We'll talk about the importance of highlights to keep the vibrant feeling of the night scene. And this is also something that's very artificial because, yeah, it's not natural at all. Let's check this. So we do have some greens, but I can tell you they are not chromatic at all. Gosh. So let's get rid of the painting and see what we have. All right. So a pretty limited palette. That's pretty much all we have. Let's check out one more time the skin tones. Let me check the skin tone, just the skin tones. See, we have some highlights here to emphasize the form. What do we have here? Kind of a very dull greenish gray. Some dark gray, blue highlights. And some white highlights, some yellowish accents. Here is more for accents, and most of the form is in, you know, shades of gray. So we get rid of the painting. All right, these are the same as the rest. It's a very coherent gamut, but very narrow. What does it tell us? How are we going to make the painting a reality with such muted colors? Well, we're going to focus mostly on form. And to do that, we'll make sure that we have that we translate and we have high contrast. You know, we're gonna play with, you know, the shadows, and everything works with, you know, shadow shapes and form. See, we're gonna have a very kind of a shadow puppets almost with these colors. We're gonna try to use these colors. Actually, I'm gonna mix them in a minute and try to make a little study with the same type of colors. See what we can have. And one last thing that I wanted to talk about regarding making the colors vibrant. It's these accents. Very important to keep some accents. You want to keep some touches of contrasting light. And this one as well in the back. I think it's a camp, it's a military camp. I don't know the story. There's the guard right here. And this dude, this main character is hiding from this guard. I think this is a military camp in the back. Hit by the moonlight, I assume. You would never see that in reality, but it's very important. And here as well, you have some couple highlights as well right there. Just a few touches here. Just some light, a little star. Very discreet, trying to exist here in the back. Sorry. Well, okay. Yeah. With this view from if we take a distance with the painting, this view, you see how it keeps everything unified. If you remove this part, let's try to remove this accent, the white accent here, to show you how important the white accents are in this case. Let's say we have none of that. And we have trees, and this would be like more normal. Like the reality is like this would be a more normal, you know, landscape in the night. There's no way that a realistic night would be like that. And even if it was lit by, I don't know, candle lights, it wouldn't appear like that. But compositionally, it matters, right? What also matters a ton is the touches, kind of sparkled touches of blue light which indicate the light piercing through the leaves that creates this very cool effect, and also creates a sort of a spotlight effect. So, you know, this character is spotted by the moonlight. Hasn't been spotted by the guard, but has been spotted by you, the viewer. So you have a premium spot here in this composition, and also spotted by the moonlight. The light itself has spotted this guy. I don't know what he's trying to hide. What is he trying to hide? Is it his hat or a weapon? Who knows, right? There's a lot of mystery here. Let's analyze the colors on this one as well and see what we can get from it. These ones much more muted. And I would say very narrow range. And then you have the warm underpainting that creates all the sort of the cool. And the rest is like, it's been painted with a full... Oh man, sorry, I painted on the same layer, so I can't hide it. Sorry. I missed the... You know, I can't, you know, hide the rest, and, you know, because I painted on the same layer. Oh, whatever. See, this technique here is pretty different from the other. This one is has more an emphasis on shapes and form, light playing with the shape of the shadows. You can see the composition here is more the central focus, and the colors are less the subject, and it's more this time the light effects and the form, right? Almost like shadow puppets in a way. This one much less chromatic. Why? Because this one has been painted with first of all, a complementary. So I would see this as being, you know, something umber, raw umber, burnt umber, and ultramarine, and that's all. Like, so extremely limited palette. For this one, you have some yellowish tones to create those kind of greenish hues, and you have a much more, you know, impactful blue. Don't know which blue. Can be any blue. Not super powerful, but compared to the rest, very. And in this case, the blue has not been released. It's been mixed severely. So you mix the blue with the rest of the brown, and it makes a very muted palette like that. This would be the more realistic night palette, and this is definitely the more vibrant night palette. That's what we're going to try to explore today. Let's jump into painting. So I've got this study. It's creating a little hazy effect. I'm gonna try to get rid of it. All right. Let me just put my face here, and there we go. Let me show you the palette here, and I've got one last thing to do. All right, here we are. Has a golden front light. Oh yeah, the golden light would be a topic as well. Makes me think. Be a super cool, interesting idea. The golden light, famous, well known by photographers, and it's basically the best kind of light you have for for any subject. I think the golden light is very well known. All right, in my palette. Oops, sorry. You don't see much of my palette actually, so let me change this. Okay. Up. To readjust. Haven't been painting for a while, so most of my settings are off. So we hold on. Right. So we have some titanium white. We have some yellow ochre, some transparent iron oxide, which is not a color that I'm going to use. I'm going to use it just to mute the ultramarine. So burnt umber, ultramarine, we're going to create the black out of this mix. And oh. Sorry. Should be better. Ultramarine and burnt umber is going to create our black, but we're going to, you know what, we're gonna try with a warm underpainting. So for my underpainting, I'm actually going to go with warm tones. I'm gonna create an imprimatur that's more on the brown side. And see how it goes. I'm gonna see how it goes with this. So, actually going to incorporate some blue to make it more neutral, but I want to make something relatively warm. Everything is going to be about relative, right? It's all going to be relative. It's going to be our main word for the day. It's never going to be actually blue, never really going to be actually warm. It's always going to be bluer or warmer. So warmer than the rest, bluer than the rest. I hate this moire effect. Sorry for wasting your time with all my settings. I think it should be better now. Technology is great when it works. Oh, it works. It's just that it's just that I haven't all the setup prepared because I'm too lazy to do all that beforehand. But hey, it works well enough. All right. Let's actually try to incorporate some of this yellow directly under. So I want to make a yellow undertone, and this should be the full extent of my worm. It looks kind of greenish. So good, I guess. Good, because as we said, green is still an important component, as we saw, of the night colors, even though we perceive it less. It's typically green is the color that we, as we said, we perceive it much better than the rest, but we care much less than the rest, so it balances. Man, I hate this little glitchy. Don't worry. Man, I didn't plan to do my leaf effects. Sorry. It's okay. This was a drawing that I've outlined with pencil, black colored pencil, and the black colored pencil, as you can see, is still usable over the paint. Like the thin paint is still workable. So I want to create some. So I have my shadow. See my shadow shapes over there. See, I have all these are my shadow shapes. I'm gonna create, you know, little hatchings for you to see. So these are all shadow shapes, and I'm gonna create some extra shadow shapes that are just going to be the shadows of the leaves. Skull looking head on the abdomen. How come? Where? I don't see it. Well, and usually I'm pretty good at this little game. So these are the shadow shapes of the model, the figure. So everything I'm hatching here are original shadow shapes. Now I'm going to add some extra that are going to be the leaves. So just here, just trying to make it aesthetic. I want to use the same kind of spotlight effect as Wyeth. So I'm going to imagine a tree behind. And I'm going to try to play on the... I'm going to try now. What I'm going to try to paint a sort of a little light, a very subtle little light that I think personally I'm going to go with an orange accent at the end, a very small orange, very dim light. It's going to create a small halo effect around there, and we'll maybe have this to sort of play the little accent role. But Yeah, we'll play with the spotlight. So I need something in the back. I'm gonna create some sort of tree. It's good that you can still draw with the pencil and that. Or maybe some rocks. Now I want some background. So I think no, I don't want this tree here. Well, I think I'll figure it out, but I want one tree to create the, you know, the shadow shapes of the leaves and all. And here, so let's play. So all this would be a shadow shape from the tree. All this okay. All right. So now I need to sort of try to make the same values and hues as Wyeth. See what we can do. Maybe draw a mirror. Yeah, mirror could be cool. Hello, sorry, my mic is... Okay, so what do we have? So I have some phthalo turquoise to create something stronger than typical blue, and something more on the cyan side. So what I would recommend is actually we're going to use this the same. We're going to try to mimic the palette of Wyeth, but we'll start with a sort of a grisaille. We'll first try to catch up the forms with a very simplified grisaille that we'll do with these, and from there we'll incorporate the colors little by little. Okay. The little red, the little yellowish. Thank you, Shanley. Okay, so this would be the little green accent, but I'm gonna start with a simple muted palette. The colors I'm using are phthalo cyan, phthalo turquoise, ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, transparent iron oxide, yellow ochre, and titanium white. So I'm just going to start like that. I'm going to start focusing on values, build the form, build the shadow shapes, and from there, when it's established, we'll start thinking about, you know, bringing the color effects, the blue, the highlights. So my grisaille palette is actually going to be extremely simple, extremely rudimentary. Oh. Okay. So I think the 3 colors should be 3 values for your little grisaille value scale should be enough. Don't need much more. And we're gonna go full contrast. The contrast are going to be exacerbated because, well, you don't see what's going on in the shadows, so like really no point in describing the inside of the shadows that much. So you can really push the contrast. The light side doesn't receive a lot of light, and the shadow is in complete darkness. So really feel free to exacerbate the contrasts in this case. Sorry, I just need to finish preparing all my palette, and I'm promising you it's going to be more entertaining in a minute. Dun, dun, dun. Down, down, da, 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 da. Okay, let's see. Right. I need to find an operator to deal with all my cameras. Okay, let's start. That's cool, Joy. I'm happy to learn that. That's the spirit. That's why I'm doing this. A lot of the time, people just enjoy the company. An art studio is pretty lonely. It's nice to have some company every once in a while. Share the inspiration, share the drive, share the motivation, share. I'm sorry, Felicia. I deactivated all the commands. I'm in the process of changing all the commands. Most of them were not working anymore because of, you know, updates and stuff. So yeah, definitely for now not working. Yeah, I've got, like, you know, every time the program updates, messes up all the commands, I have to manually check them all again every time. It's a real pain. For the highlights, because you want the focus to be on the face, so you can bring the contrast, re-emphasize the contrast around the face. It's a tiny painting, so it would be more visible on a bigger canvas, but just a small study, so we'll do just fine. So how about that for skin tones? It feels like kind of Martian-like. But I can assure you that with under certain light conditions, even your camera can take a picture with colors like that. You wouldn't necessarily believe it, but feels like Aquaman. Good evening, Kimo. How you doing? Feels like Aquaman. Well, I don't know. Is Aquaman kind of green like that? Maybe. Finland. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. What is the goal? To make us feel bad? Or so cool. I would love to visit Finland, man. I want to visit. Oh yeah, there is a problem of reduced light time there, I assume. Oh, that's cool because we're studying night colors, so you can enjoy. I guess in the winter you can enjoy almost unlimited night shades to study ad infinitum. The pencil I'm using is which one is it? It's a pen Gold Faber Aqua Faber Castell. Any cutted pencil can do the job. Also in Finland, what is it? Is this a club or what? Hello, Finland. So I'm trying to push some of these background shades so that the color of Aquaman here starts to make sense earlier rather than later. Because otherwise, if you do just the figure and you carefully, you know, if you carefully shade the figure with those muted colors and you don't start immediately with the background, it will look very weird. But if you start incorporating some of these background hues at the same time, it will help it make it sense earlier rather than later. One of my tricks is I'm always creating a little halo, always a little bit of rim light. It's just I like it. It's pretty. Let's bring it. Well, I hope. I'm pretty sure you'll be better than me, so it will not be difficult. Thank you for the nice words, though. Well, I hope that one day you get to do what you love and do what you love consistently every day. What can work really well? If you have a dark blue, dark ultramarine, is instead of using black, you can use the ultramarine almost pure. Oh my god, that's great. Well, good luck and you know, yeah, making my mark. Exactly. Do what matters most. What matters most is making great art. Make inspiring stuff. It doesn't look like you're sparing. No, it's fine. Do I use digital? No, not really. Just use, you know, occasional Photoshop here and there, but it's not. The finished work is never digital. No. Well, somebody who knows digital would say probably they try to mimic, but no, in reality, no. It's not the same because, well, you're not dealing with the same materials. You're not dealing with zeros and ones, with actual paint. You're dealing with real material. And like there's a lot more that you need to take care of when you're dealing with the real stuff. And one of the key things with genuine paint is we don't have the undo, we can't just rewind and go back. So you have to be more careful in how you do things. So it's not the same, but I know that a lot of digital artists like to say that they try to, you know, they try to use the same way of blending, and they, you know, because they do both digital and real life painting, that they try to somehow merge the two techniques. But I'm not gonna bullshit you, it's not the same. It's said like once, you know, no way, it's not the same. Yeah, the camera is kind of blurry, but if I don't blur, look, okay, now I know it's on purpose because it creates this kind of little annoying effect due to the texture of the canvas. So yeah, I hate this texture thing. It can only go if it only goes when it's covered with paint. So basically the texture of the paint makes it go away. But the texture of the raw, like right here, it's actually painting paper, but the texture of the paper alone makes that. Starting to have mic issues, so sorry for your ears if you're hearing. Yeah, it's better, but I hate these little things, these marks right there. I hate this effect. It's just an optical thing. It's not due to the camera or anything. It's not a quality issue. It's just so here, instead of using black, I'm using pure blue. Yeah, the painting is tiny. It's supposed to be a study, but you know how I am. I'm more tight than I... Most traditional start as digital. But I don't know about that. Maybe you're part of a different crowd, because I don't know that many people who do digital. But I know that what I'm doing here is very niche. So yeah, I have no problem with admitting that I'm niche. I'm gonna use pure white here, and I'm gonna canvas blend it. How do you put yourself in the study minds? What do you mean? Study mindset? Hard to not want to make it right? Yeah, I struggle with that. I try to make it as good as I can. Like I don't have a study mindset. Usually study is a sort of an excuse for me if I mess up. I say, oh, don't mind, it was just a study. Sometimes I even say it in advance. This way I'm good. I'm good before it even starts. Yeah, typically I rarely sketch, and I do most of my stuff is I like to invest myself in the art and do the best I can from the get-go. I don't like the idea of, messing up on purpose because it's a study. So I have a tendency to invest way more energy than needed. I've been in a painting mood for weeks. Well, that's a good. That's what we call a good disease. That's the mood. Okay, how are we? Are we still in the same? Here, I'm trying to mimic the same sort of mindset. I think here, this is what I have. This is why I have this transparent iron oxide. I find it too blue in the skin tone, so I'm gonna mute it down. And I'm picking up some pure kind of orange yellow here from the burnt transparent iron oxide. Picking it pure like that and bringing it directly in the skin tones. And see, it just automatically removes the excessive blue. I need to reshape this light. I need to play with the the shape of this light area right there. Yeah, but to go back to the question, yeah, I have difficulties with the study mindset. They're great. I love them. Yeah, it's also one of my problems. But trying to heal from it by doing this, by putting me on the spot, doing it live, like so. But sometimes you can just save you a lot of time though, like making the study. You can mess up in the study. It's much better than messing up in the final work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the light areas. Oh, and start the background first. Does it work on its own though, with no background? Or is it the kind of stuff that definitely needs a background? Some things can work without a background though. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you can make it make sense, it can be pretty cool. No pun intended, by the way. Oh, good, because I don't know how you can fix a background color with a watercolor. With oil, at least you have all the... I mean, you can still work it out for as long as you need. With watercolor, I don't know how you can bring back a background when it's too late. I don't know if it's even a thing. For oil, definitely, I know it's possible. Alright, so here, I'm trying to... So basically, I have 2 blue value scales, and one of them is just more blue than the other, and the one that's less blue, so this is not warm, but it acts like warm, and this would act like my bluish accents. Hey, no problem, Cody. Welcome here. Yeah, no, I don't have real tips on watercolor, really. Watercolor is not my thing. Not really my thing. Actually, I think it was Picasso's, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, thanks. Well, Van Gogh has, like, there's no period for Van Gogh's amazing blue. So I'm making these edges here. I'm exaggerating the blue along the separations of the terminator. Most of what matters in most shadow shapes usually happens around this line. So if you want to emphasize the shadow shape, better on the edge of the shadow shape. Okay, so see the edge here. All the edge of my shadow shapes. This is where I'm trying to reinforce the blue following this line. Happy Tuesday, Kelly. Welcome here. Thanks for dropping by. So here, at no point do I have black, which, you know, you might think, well, don't you need black for night colors? Well, not necessarily. You can do without, and sometimes a nice touch of blue is worth more than black. If you know how to use it properly, of course. Well, an untrained person might think, well, that black would be necessary, especially for night scene. But here, obviously, I'm exaggerating. I'm trying to follow the gamut from this painting. If you just arrived, trying to follow this kind of a gamut, so very exaggerated here. I think maybe my colors are too strong in the back, but we'll see later. We'll see. Can always tone it down. So here, let's see. All right, Cody, sorry you're too popular to hang out with us. But hey, see you around, man. See you around. Yeah, this is what we were talking about. The fact that the fact that the blue tones are an illusion, but it's an illusion that works extremely well because, you know, this reads like perfect moonlight colors. Like, it's a very much an exaggeration in this case. We'll see if I need to tone it down later, but yeah, it's all an illusion. Like, actually, the night is not blue. It's not more blue than the rest. However, it's something that we perceive as blue. Perceiving something as is enough for us. For us artists, we don't care about things like reality. We like no need for such a thing. Yeah, sure. mostly using acrylics as a sort of a base, and then paint on top when you're ready. So do kind of an underpainting with acrylics. Yeah, it works. It works. Alright, see you. Thank you for dropping by. Now try to make this my guy found a mysterious object that may have give him directions to where his clothes are. I don't know. Maybe a door to a new dimension. Oh no, it's hard to paint small. No, I don't recommend it. It's like I'm doing it here for the sake of the the demo, but in reality it's not something that I recommend too much. Working small is really not the best thing. So yeah, working small is really not typically something I do. But it's easier for these little sessions. Because very often, like when I start working on one of my main big canvases, you know, first of all, it's so slow. You don't see the progression. It's just very tedious. Whereas right here, at least you have a nice sense of progression. Thank you, Nolan. Well, in that case, you have to learn how to, you know, take a medium-sized round and use it as a sort of a big brush. You know, sort of use it as if it was a larger brush, because it is compared to the area. I'm telling you, night vibes. This night palette is a vibe, really. It's interesting. How am I? I don't think I have enough of this contrast. I think I should push. It's titanium white. Does that? I'm staying. Very cool. I'm using mostly rounds and flats, mostly synthetic, different shapes, different sizes. Thank you. I don't know about that, but it's looking like something. It's going somewhere. We'll see where exactly, but hey. Not sold on this effect, but we'll see what we can do with it. Looks like Captain Planet. Nice. Which painting sells the most? I would think landscape sell for kind of more sort of a middle class. Yeah, I think I completely lost the underlying warmth. I went really cool. So I can start incorporating some warmer passages here and there by almost using the pure brown and the pure orange of the transparent iron oxide, just so that just to indicate sort of a little bit of a contrast in the hue. I think I would say it's too bluish. I don't know, it like doesn't really have a name though, so I don't know. Like in this case, it's just painting. We're trying out a color gamut based on Wyeth paintings, but it looks kind of like a grisé, but in blue. Yes. I think my blue needs to be more contrasted with more warm touches, because in my case I think it's too Well, that's cool, Waverly. It's awesome. That's the tough point, is like you don't want to warm them too much. Typically you would want to use some orange to balance, but I think I'm gonna just use the burnt umber instead of blue in the shadows and incorporate it here and there. I'm gonna do that almost pure, so pure burnt. Now I want to create my leaf effects. So right here. Oh no, it's not warm. As I said, as I explained, it's not warm, it's simply warmer, and very little is enough. Very little is enough, indeed, to create this effect of warm shades. Actually, day and night. Day and night, the colors are typically they don't change that much. It's just that actual night colors are very, very boring. Right here, what we're using is more kind of a completely artificial palette. Nothing is this blue in the night, unless you're completely drunk, maybe. This is something different. Nothing is this blue ever. You want to make it read like some sort of a something that could be a moonlight, but you know, the big question is do we imagine the moonlight blue because of all the artists before? What do you think? Like, do we think that a moonlight is genuinely blue when in reality it's not more blue than anything else? So do you think it's because of all these artists that have painted moonlights blue and somehow it has stuck with us? Now we imagine this as blue where in fact it's not, because we see blue moonlight in the movies and stuff. Well, this, for example, shadows in the daylight, shadows in a daylight when the sun hits and the sky is blue, then the shadows are indeed blue. So the shadows indeed in the daylight are blue when the sun is high in the sky and the sky is nice and blue. The shadows take the color from the reflected light coming from the sky. But in the moonlight, nothing is like, it's all gray. So there is no color, but we want to perceive it as blue. Yeah, I guess it's not just the cultural impact, it's like something natural to perceive it as such. Like the illusion has been maybe reinforced by the artists, but mostly it's there because it's there and we perceive it this way. No, except unless you're a detail freak. It's like, for me, go with, you know, like what I did here. Just paint the light peeking through the foliage and not the foliage itself. So it's much better to paint, you know, the sky behind than the actual foliage, especially mostly talking about the background. But if the main subject is the foliage, then, well, it changes it all. But you know, well, if the foliage you're talking about is in the background, then yeah, paint the holes created by the light. Rather than the foliage itself. See, for example, here, if I want to create the feeling that there are branches, I want to just tap here and there, and, you know, kind of try to bring a little rhythm with the branches as well. It's something important about foliage. The rhythm through the branches, not just foliage. Let's mix some more black, actually. All right, 77 persons present and 74 likes. This is sad. 2 persons haven't liked. Just kidding. But hey, if you want to help me out, it like helps. It's a form of currency in the modern world. And guess what? It's free for you. So supporting the stream for nothing. Now I'm not using a black at all. I'm mixing it out of burnt umber and ultramarine. So no Mars black. Mars black is not a black that I like. It's kind of weak. It's warm, but like it doesn't really have the right impact that I want. It's hard to do anything with it. Not my favorite. Yes, there we go. 85 likes. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I like them all except the very end. I hate the, you know, hesitating and the dread of, oh my god, should I call it done or should I keep working on it? This is my least favorite part, so I can't tell you which part I like the best because I love them all, thankfully, and I enjoy what I do every day, except the stressful moment of, you know, calling it a day. It's hard. Actually, I'm gonna wait. I want to put an orange glow in his hand, so I'm gonna wait. The ugly middle. Some people don't have an ugly middle, they have an ugly... Always. It's always ugly for some. Some people, well, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm talking about me. Sometimes you think that it's all ugly all the time, and sometimes it's hard to be satisfied with yourself. Plaster some cracks on the wall. What are you doing? Renovating the Parthenon? All right. See you later, Benji. Well, you can feel free to keep us in the background. We don't mind. Yeah, orange. I'm almost there. I'm gonna finish the bottom part and I'm gonna do that. No mural on my rooftop. Ah, well, that's disappointing. I really thought that you guys had amazing sculptures everywhere. You should. subject is wearing a simple drapery for because my subject is aware of YouTube, you know, YouTube censorship. Yeah, exactly. He's hiding in the hiding in the woods because his girlfriend stole his clothes. Well, maybe it's a nice story. You know, I wanted to make a sort of a nice sort of mythology, Greek kind of god or something, you know, but then I realized, oh, YouTube is gonna flag me. I shouldn't paint private parts on YouTube. I should know better. So I decided to be prude and cover him up with lame drapery. Lame, lame, lame. But hey. It's not the first time. Now it's becomes a sort of a running joke that YouTube keeps flagging videos of art for nudity. Generally, when you ask for manual review, they let you go. But still, it tanks the performance of the video typically. Using oil paint. No, I haven't used any black. I almost never use any black. I bought a big tube of ivory black like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. No, even more than that. Whatever, and like when I started painting. So yeah, oh man, much more than that. But ever since I have not used another tube. Nah, it's okay, Leslie. You know, you're very, it's actually very reminiscent of the academic era where actually female nudes were forbidden because it was actually deemed inappropriate to have a woman pose for young artists who were mostly male at the time. Like 98% maybe. So it was deemed very inappropriate, and the only acceptable thing was to draw male figures. So studying the male body was a thing, and studying the female was not. So you're still good on this. The background is kind of a forest, so forest kind of like this one. Hold on. Kind of like this one. All right, and now I'm waiting for the hand, because as I said, the artist is Wyeth. Oh yeah, draperies. Drapery is always a thing. See this little detail here of the navel. It's typical male navel. You'll typically not see it on female navel, just based on, you know, the sort of the torso. Well, you can see it maybe on a female with that does bodybuilding, something like that. You know, this little stripe here above, it's pretty typical of, you know, nice abs. You want to start another row of abs below, like so. I haven't counted, but I prefer not to. You know, draw too many sharp lines and let them, you know. Yes, I am almost full time now. It's like outside of streaming hours, this is all I do. All right, so let's bring this little orange touch. Yes, but it's like funnily enough, I'm finishing with the most fundamental. So the drawing course is like it's like part one of my sort of a 3-part core program in a way. And I'm finishing with it. Why? I don't know. Maybe because it's the most fundamental and also the trickiest to teach. It's funny how sometimes like what you think is the most essential is, and also sometimes the simple, but it's extremely hard to explain. So let's try to create this little. But yeah, I'm doing the course and I'm also working on a full revamp of my entire channel, the streaming, everything will sort of evolve into, oops, sorry. into something more structured. My castle is not even finished. I decided to, you know, put all my personal work on the side. Even though my castle was the kind of my summer project, but even that I don't have time for. Like I'm entirely in the drawing right now. Still frozen? Yeah, I really like the castle, but my castle is not, like, it's still there. It's still there, so don't worry, it's not going anywhere. As soon as I'm done with all the education, like, it basically September is, I'm doing just educational stuff. Freezing in and out? Really? Let me check. Stream health. I don't think it's freezing for me. Yeah, let me know if anybody else is having issues. Fine, okay. Okay. Orange. I'm relieved. Well, Egypt isn't that the main idea of Egypt? Is like, isn't it always warm? Do you actually have winters? Like, well, obviously you have winters, but is winter cold? I don't know what I would do without freezing cold in the winter. I would just get so bored of always being hot. I don't know about you. I hate when I'm cold, but I... Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, you still have a somehow colder weather though. All right, so now because there's this little glow, it needs to have a little impact on the hole, so it will be felt somehow here. Can be more, so I'm going to progressively. It's sort of an aura. Just follow the light. Think about where it might hit. See, all this upper part of the shoulder would not receive any light, just follow the light rays. This wouldn't go above the shoulder, so I can stop there. I'm gonna scratch it off because I want to let this orange. I want to give this orange a little bit more room. I'll scratch off the old. If I was doing this, I would get a. If I was doing this for my main work, I would get a model that would actually study the light properly to make sure that it hits right. Yeah, it's because it's all wet, and basically because it's wet on wet, when I'm adding the orange, gets mixed with the blue. Blue and orange are complementary, so they sort of cancel each other. So I'm wasting my orange. Like every time I lay down some orange where there's already blue, it just does like 10% of the amount of coloring that it can typically do because of they cancel each other, right? So I'm scratching the blue and especially here in this case, when they mix, they create a sort of a washed off green. Yeah, the cheek I'm gonna do later, but it's just need to figure out this part first. What I'm gonna make it more subtle, actually. Thank you. Thank you. You are. I don't know. Mind is blown. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. But hey, thank you for appreciating the progress at least. I'm not super pleased. I don't think it's a chromatic scheme that I would pick for one of my paintings. Like I don't know. I wouldn't feel attracted to this kind of colors in my normal work. Like here, I'm doing it for the demo, but is this a color scheme that I would pick? I don't think so. I don't think so. My orange is out of place, but because I'm still trying to stay true to this. So here, here, here. No, that's me. Here, here. Let's see if I just replace orange with yellow. It's paper, it's painting paper. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's actually get rid of the orange and instead make a sort of a candlelight yellow. So I actually don't need the orange. But I'm gonna do a sort of a candlelight, but it like almost a sort of a dying spark. Basically, the subject is like the guy has lost his clothes and he's witnessing the dying of a candlelight in the woods, and so that's his last moment. His last moment with light, and next is going to be alone in the woods. Yeah, so exactly. Now I have the story. It's the dying of the light. Yeah, exactly. Let this painting be a warning to all of you boys. I'll deal with the portrait in the end. So there's going to be an orange glow on the face. Okay, so now now a little glow in the face because he's looking at the light, so obviously the light. If you look at something, the thing is looking at you. If you look at the light is looking at you. So it's looking, so it's pretty strong. The light effect is really bad, so for this little study it will be enough. But let's say if I wanted to make it bigger for a if I wanted to make this on a more on a bigger scale, I would need to study more carefully this light effect, especially because it's kind of the main, like it, see how a tiny amount like immediately becomes one of the main focus. Crazy how powerful light effects can be. Yeah, you think I'm not feeling it that much. I went a bit far with reinterpreting this with the glow. I still have no clue what's going on in the hand. I'm gonna try, I would like to sharpen this up. But right now it's a giant mess. Like, well, what am I saying? Not a giant mess, a tiny mess. It's so small and I can't see what's going on. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go like that and create a little whoop. Guy's full of dripping wax. His hand is burning. But he's just holding on to it because he has no no other hope. No, don't worry. We like jokes here. If anything, you made yourself uncomfortable by thinking that we are. I am not, so don't worry. As long as you're not breaking TOS. As long as you're fun and respectful. Oh, the mean girlfriend? Do I paint the mean girlfriend in the background? Maybe there's sort of a shadow? Kind of a witch-like presence? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, look at this. She's actually there. Lurking. Lurking in the background. Let's put some landscape elements here as well. Or maybe, isn't there a story like that, but it's actually the woman that's supposed to walk without ever turning back to look. What is this myth again? I forgot. Story of a lady has to walk for miles without turning back. Let's put some faint stars. First a blur, and then a tiny dot. Plus Wyeth, okay. I think it might be it must be a sort of a shared myth. Like some myths, some stories are shared, you know, in different cultures. Because I've heard this several occasions. Yeah, it's funny. It's very it's very Jungian, idea that the fact that we share so many of the mythology is kind of part of the sort of a human unconscious, the collective unconscious, subconscious, if you want. I have absolutely no clue what's going on in this background, but I'm making it happen. So I'm trying to shape something in the back. Well, thank you, Stony Bones. Do it twice a week. So well, that's awesome, AE. Well, here I am, twice a week, every Monday, Friday. We have fun. Some pretty cool changes coming up, and there's going to be a lot of painting and a lot of community building happening in the upcoming weeks. I have a great program. That you're gonna love. Yes, there is a lady. Am I a master? Well, I teach what I know, and if I'm a master of my craft, well, I have succeeded in making art, learning art on my own, and making it professionally, doing all the art, you know, stuff. I sort of made it, so, well, I can't. Some people call this being a master. I don't know. I'm not. But I don't see myself this way. Maybe it's lack of self-confidence, but I'm always very. I always try to stay extremely humble with this sort of stuff. Because I always like, as soon as you stop being in the urge for learning, and you think that you know all, like, it's down you go. Doesn't matter who you are. My master is still Raphael. My master is still all these wonderful artists. Michelangelo, all these guys. They are the true masters. And Wyeth, by the way, that's a master. I'm just trying to follow in the footsteps, doing my best. Now, more of this orange glow. Here, well, the hand is disgusting. Makes me want to puke. Sometimes you do stuff and you really hate a certain area. The hand, well, for a study will be all right. I'm gonna accept. I'm going to accept fully shaped hand for now, but because I won't have the time, and it's not necessarily interesting here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to contrast again here. Taking some blue and I'm going over the terminator. Yeah, try to behave Leslie. We are reasonable people here. No nonsense. No plans for fun, no place for nonsense. That's well known. that nobody told you. Well, you should have figured it out. Okay, this orange glow doesn't really function here. So this study would, if I was using this study for a large scale painting, I would probably study the candlelight more cautiously, because it's really hard to integrate something that would feel like candlelight, like out of the blue like that in the end. So if I wanted to make this on a larger scale, I would incorporate the candlelight from the beginning and not all the way at the end, which makes it tricky to control. You would buy this one? Thanks. Yeah. Hmm. I don't charge for studies, so no. If anything, maybe one day I thought about making sort of giveaways for these. No, I don't charge for a little study. Because it's not appropriate work. It's not valuable enough for me to even value. I would be okay with giving it away. I would not be okay with selling it. Yes, giveaways. The only problem is, like, I hate shipping. Yeah, but we have different, you know, standards. The thing is, yeah, probably. I see the point. It's just, for me, I don't. I wouldn't. Like, it's a nice study and all, and it's interesting. It's interesting, but I don't know. I don't know if I would proceed with a color scheme like that. I don't know. I don't feel the vibe of this color combo. Just personal preference, I guess. All right. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Well, let's compare from my original inspiration. Of course, the little touch of red, orange, yellow orange is something, creates something kind of different. It's kind of discreet though. I like how it's sort of hiding. You don't know exactly, is this the spirit of a woman in the back, something? I don't know. Find it cool. But thanks you guys. I appreciate. All right, I think it's this will be all right for today. So stay tuned for potential giveaway. Yeah, I'll let you know if the guy ends up getting out of this forest or not. It's intriguing. Yeah, exactly. Intriguing story. Is the guy going to keep this light alive? What's going to happen in this forest? Tough to think about this stuff. But hey, it was a nice session. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. It was super cool. I'll see you on Friday. I have tons of new stuff coming up for you in the future, so stay tuned. Make sure you have the subscribed with the little bell, because you really don't want to miss what's coming up in the upcoming weeks. So I'll see you there, my friends. Thank you very much for being here, and as